if you're like specifically targeting an area, Privy is probably the best. But if you want to like get a whole list, then PropStream is better. So again, they kind of do two different things. Privy is definitely a lot more affordable, but I think it's a little bit more limited as far as, you know, filtering lists, filtering for a specific property, a specific type of seller. PropStream is obviously costs more, but you can get a little bit more narrow of a search as far as filters go, and get a bigger list. So, but let me upload something if it loads. So, but I prefer to use an outline. I think we put it in the calculators. Yeah, even though we call it a script. So, this is what it looks like. And now this is a tips and script for sub 2 seller finance hybrid, basically creative financing. So just gives you some good tips, right? Like don't look at prospects as cold calls. The home's on the market, right? So they have their hand raised. It's not a cold call. They're telling you they want to sell. So it kind of just gives you an outline, right? Like try to build some rapport. Ask how the agent's day is going. Ask how the listing is going. Let them know you're an investor looking for a property for your firm, for your company, for yourself. And you saw that this house that the agent has, and you're just curious, you know, it's such a beautiful home. Why is it still sitting on the market? Have you had a lot of interest? Have you had a lot of showings? Any offers submitted? Tell you a lot of the uh-hus that we typically use to sound interested in conversation. Mute your phone if you're tempted to interrupt. The realtor will ask if you'd like to see it, if you guys would like to send an offer, right? You'd probably have this as a rental. Ask them about the rental market in that area. You can see, you know, ask them, what do you think the rent rates are? Are there any restrictions? Yeah, Louisa, yeah, I can show you that as well too. What I'm going to do is actually upload this document. So this is really good. You know, it's more of an outlined rather than a script, right? So, you know, study this. Obviously, you could probably just read it word for word. But this is very similar to how we make our pitch. So you start with cash, you go into seller finance, right? If they have a mortgage, then you go into subject to, report, condition, timeline, price. So all this good stuff. So I will upload this if Heart of Profits will load. Okay. So here is a script / outline for how to, I was gonna say be direct to agent, how to call and present to boom. So yeah, if you guys go into the Heart of Profits Facebook group, Louisa, I'll show you how you can find all of these documents. Anytime someone uploads a file, you'll have to go to files. But yeah, you can see it right here. So copy of script for agent call, foreclosure process. Here's our LOIs. Here's a deal or no deal calculator. And then right here, the estimating repair cost PDF is right in here as well too. So you have to come to the Heart of Profits and then go to files. Yeah, you can use this for sellers. I mean, your conversation is obviously going to be a little bit different. You know, you're not going to ask how the listing's going. So it depends on what type of sellers you're calling as well too, right? Like if you're calling tired landlords, your script probably is going to be a little bit different. I don't necessarily expired listings. Yeah, you can use this one. Very similar, right? You can ask them, well, when you did have your house on the market, how was it going, right? Were you getting Was your agent getting a lot of showings? Did you guys have any offers? Build some rapport, and then ask, are you still looking to sell? Obviously, because we do a lot of direct to seller with expired listings ourselves too. So, and the conversation is obviously, if you're still looking to sell, well, we'd love to make an offer like very close to your list price. The way we buy homes is a little bit creative. We'd be interested in purchasing the home subject to the existing mortgage. Is that something you are familiar with? Did anyone present that to your agent and show it to you? And then go into explaining the mechanisms. Anytime I make a call, my first call to an agent or a seller, I'm trying to keep it quick. It's a 3 to 5 minute call. And all I want to do is build a little bit of rapport and get their email address to send them an offer, because you can go crazy explaining subject to and seller finance and all the mechanisms and the ins and outs. But, until you send them an offer, right, it's not real. And who knows if they call you back? Who knows if that offer even makes sense for them? So just to not waste a ton of time, I'd say 3 to 5 minute phone call, get their email, and then send a letter of intent, and then follow up and explain the mechanisms a little bit more. So let's look for. So I'm going to look for some on-market properties. The letter of intent is not binding. Absolutely not. No, they don't even need to sign it. When we send them, I don't even require them to sign it. Just give me a verbal agreement, and then I'll send a contract. It is not binding. And the letter of intent says that this is a non-binding, they're not required to sign it, basically. Okay, so I'm looking for low equity let's look at the map here. Let's see where I want to buy a home today. We do a lot in the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida. So I know we already have campaigns going out there. Indiana. Let's see. I know Pace is looking for some properties in Las Vegas. Let's check out Las Vegas. What is Las Vegas County? I forget. Clark County.
I don't see the chat
You're not seeing the chat, Kathy?
at all. I can't even find where to type it in anywhere.
It should be at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, but oh, there you are.
Yeah.
If you don't see it, do you see something that says more with 3 dots in there?
Yeah, up at the top, chat.
Found it?
Yay!
Awesome. There you go.
I'm learning.
You're learning. All right. Let's see. Let's try. Whoa. Sorry, guys. 1 second.
Joey has his dog here, and his dog went a little crazy. So give us a couple seconds.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. You too. Alex asked a really good question. Is it better to run your search by county? I would say pick something and be consistent with it. So I prefer counties because they just cover a bigger area, right? Like you could spend your time looking for more cities, but if you do a specific county, it just covers a bigger area. PropStream, you can't search like an entire state. You can't just type in Florida. So I think the next best thing would be a county to cover the biggest area. And yeah, I whenever I'm looking for properties too, I like to go by population density. So I'll type in like Nevada counties by population. There's always one website it brings me to. Demographics.com. So literally when I'm going to pull a list, I will pull up whatever state. I go to demographics.com with the state, and I'll just, copy Clark County, plug it in, save all 31, and then go to the next county and do that over and over again. I tend to stay in counties above 200,000. I will not dip below counties with less than 200,000. But I prefer counties. Some people prefer cities. Just kind of all depends, right? Like if I just did Las Vegas, I may not get some of these properties down here or up here, who knows, but I'm going to just stick to northern Las Vegas. So let's call this number 14 right here. Daybreak. So what I'm looking for is low interest rate. So here's a 3.5. And then I'm looking, okay, they owe 331. PropStream is assuming or guessing that their value is at 382. But if we hit MLS details, they're actually listed 420. So you can see they have about $90,000 in equity. Thank you. This one could still work for us if the seller would be willing to do a little bit seller carryback. I'm actually going to adjust my filter as well too, because I want bigger properties. I know Pace is looking for some bigger properties in Nevada to do a pad split. Where's my square footage? Building size right here. So minimum, I want at least probably 1,800 square feet. So narrow my search a little bit. So let's start with number 19. Nutwood Street. Okay, so same thing. They owe 289. Check my interest rate, 3%. It's a VA. It says adjustable, but I don't think that's right. Let's see where they're listed. 350. So again, still a decent amount of equity, right? Like $60,000 in equity. But just for the purpose of this, let's just give this agent a call. If you guys don't have PropStream, you can still look for low equity properties in Privy. You're just going to have to kind of click on each one until you find the one that you're looking for. So if I go to Las Vegas or Clark County, saying just that. Mm-hmm. All right. Screw it. Yeah, let's go. All right. Property radar. I've never even heard of property radar. If I had a possible lead on a large property like assisted living, who would you go to for help? I mean, we have a couple of assisted livings. So like, we have some operators in our network that we would go to and, basically let them underwrite it and see if it's a good deal for them. That's what you're supposed to do. And we've learned this through trial and error. If you're looking at sober livings, assisted livings, the only way to underwrite them or know if it's a deal is you have to give it to an operator and let them underwrite it and let them tell you how much they will pay you in rent. And now you know how much you can make in rent. How many square footage do you need to have for a pad split? I missed your search criteria. Pace, I know, is looking for at least 1,800 or above. I know the room dimensions for pad split have to be 80 square feet or larger, which is really small for a room. Obviously, it has to be an 8 by 10. Yeah, not terribly small, 80 feet. So, and I know for sure 1,500 is too small. I think 1,800 or larger is probably the sweet spot. But yeah, I know because most people have Privy. I wanted to show you guys like how you can find low equities. So you'll just have to, click on these and see, right? So like this one's listed at 369. I can scroll down, hit public record, mortgage history, and they owe 187. So not the lowest equity, but they have a low interest rate, right? So this could be a lead where you call and say, hey, would you guys consider like a hybrid, right? So let me give you a down payment and then carry the rest of your equity at whatever interest rate. But PropStream, obviously, I can filter a little bit better. So let's give this agent a call. And then just wanted to show you, you can do the same thing on Zillow. If it will load. Oh, under contract already. So maybe not, maybe don't want to waste our time on that one. So let's just go from top to bottom. Okay, so PropStream thinks this home is worth 505. They owe 437 with a 3% rate, and they're listed at 530. So again, like 90K in equity. I'm trying to find one with a little bit less. 416, and they're listed at 525. So even a lot of equity they have. MLS 539, 431. Sleepy Hollow 430, and they owe 490. Okay, so these guys are backwards. Let's see what's going on. Under contract. Okay, well, that's good. Lost Ark. And I'm just being pretty picky. Like, it probably would not be a bad idea if I'm just calling leads to call all of these and not be super picky, but I just want to try to find a good one for you guys. Okay, so 3.55 rate. They owe 487 and they're listed at 530. So not a lot of money in equity. Hopefully they are not under contract though. Pending, man. PropStream's data is not good today. Okay, let's check this next one. Their loan balance is 278. I already know that's going to be too low. 382, they're listed at 430 for 84. 100K in equity, 2.8 rate. Screw it. Let's just give these guys a call. And you have to realize too, like if someone has 100 grand in equity, they're obviously not walking away with 100 grand, right? They're going to walk away with 60, maybe, pending again, man. We're just striking out. That one, let's see, Sea Swallow. This looks like a huge home, probably 490. Again, 100K in equity, but doesn't hurt. What up, Joel? Okay, finally, the first one that's not pending or under contract. 3,000 square feet, obviously large enough, has a pool. I actually don't think a pool is ideal for a pad split, right? Like you just don't want 8 people using a pool. But regardless, let's just give this one a call, see what they have to say. VA loan at 3.1%. See if we have the agent's number. Jeffrey, 702-783-7736. You guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
You repaired Realty. We're sorry we missed your call. Please leave a detailed message.
And we struck out on that one too. I will probably call them back. I want to see if this is their office number or if Jeff has a direct number. The best way to do that is just search their name and their brokerage, and you can usually find some info about this agent. Donna, they never answer. Okay, so I can view his listings. Realtor.com usually shows their phone number as well. Let's see. No, that's not him. Okay, it's not giving me his phone number. Let's see if realtor.com. Okay. So it's giving me a different phone number. So let's see if this is it. I don't think that's it. Okay, I'm gonna try to call the first number back. Let's see if they answer.
Hi, you reached Paradigm Realty. We're sorry we missed.
We're striking out today. All right, I'm just gonna keep going too. Like I think if no agents answer, at the very least, it shows you just how to continue to make phone calls, right? Like you just can't get discouraged. You got to just keep one after another. Here's not a bad one. They are listed at 388. They owe 324. It is 1,800 square feet. So that's what we need. Okay. $388 under contract. Any connections in here? How many of you guys are leveraging social media? Joel, I suck at social media. And you're absolutely right. Yeah, like private money lenders would love to see social media posts. I will text agents for sure. If an agent, like if I'm calling my list of low equity sub 2, I will double tap. If they don't answer and it's a cell phone, I will text that agent every time. Like, hey, my name's Dylan. I'm calling about West Cactus. You know, I'd love to submit an offer. Just had a few questions. If you could give me a call back when you get a chance. Thanks. Something like that. Most agents are a lot better, at least at texting back. That was Cactus Needle.
What company was the first one? The Jeff Campbell, what company was he with?
Sorry, Donna, were you saying something?
What company, the first agent that you tried to call, Jeffrey Campbell, what company was he with? Do you remember?
I don't. Let me see.
Oh, Keller Williams.
Was it Keller Williams? Do you remember the property? Sea Swallow, I think, right? Paradigm.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, Paradigm.
I thought I had found him.
Let me see actually too. Here's a different phone number. What was this? This is the one that we're calling on, I think, right? Yeah. Even though they have a decent amount of equity. Let's try this phone. Can't read it. 325 381.
It's Jeff.
Yeah, hey Jeff, my name is Dylan. I am just giving you a call about your listing, Sea Swallow Street. Yeah, sorry, your phone has a lot of feedback.
Wait a minute, say it again.
Okay, that sounds better. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a call about that listing. I would love to submit an offer and see if I'd be a good fit for your clients. I am with an investing firm. We are looking to pick up a good 3 to 6 rental properties this month. And we're hunting heavy in Vegas. So yeah, just wanted to see how the listing's going first and see if I'd even be a good fit before we sent an offer. Have you guys had a lot of showings or any contracts on it yet?
We have had a lot of showings and we have had a lot of offers.
Gotcha. Are your clients just real particular about the price? Have they not been at their asking for anything?
Well, if you're coming in below market, it's probably a waste of your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what your other offers are? I'd love to submit an offer at least like really close to their asking, if not at their asking.
Well, if it's cash or finance at their asking price, that'd be fine. They're not going to do any creative financing. They're not going to do any seller financing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that is what I was calling about. It sounds like you've gotten a ton of calls on that already, huh?
Yep.
Gotcha.
And firmly said no.
Gotcha.
No carry, nothing like that.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. All right. Well, I don't want to waste any more of your time. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, man. Take care.
Mhm.
Cool. Easy as that, right? Like you could harp a little bit. You could try to get that agent on your side, or say, well, like I said, we are buying 3 to 6 homes a month. If this one's not a good fit, any agents in your brokerage or any other listings you have where the clients may not have much equity, I do think subject to is a really good option for a lot of those people. One line I love to say is, why don't you say, if you could, save me in your phone as your go-to low equity buyer or your go-to investor for Vegas. We're buying properties like crazy. So yeah, thanks, Fred. Yeah, try to get it out of him, right? So you can usually tell, right? Like most investors have a similar pitch, right? Like versus when an agent with a client is calling them, the agents have more very specific questions. And they're going to request a showing first and all that good stuff. When an investor like myself is calling out of the blue, and the agent has some experience, they can usually tell that this is an investor, and if they've gotten a ton of subject to calls, they probably know that that's what I'm calling about. So Nabil asks, how do you respond to agents when they ask if you toured the property? That's a good question, Nabil. I would say at the beginning, when I was new, I was getting asked that question a lot. And I wonder if it was because of the way I was, introducing myself or how I sounded on the phone. I don't get asked that question very much anymore. And maybe the reason is because I say, we look to buy a good 3 to 6 homes a month. So we buy properties sight unseen all the time. Like it's pretty rare. I will walk a property or have someone walk a property for me before I even get it under contract. Because I just don't want to waste my time or someone else's time. Unless I know for certain that I can get that property under contract, I will not waste time walking it. If they're really interested in my offer and the last thing they want me to do is check it out before we go under contract, fine. But I'm not going to waste my time going to check it out if you're not even going to sign the contract in my terms. So I would say maybe a little bit more confidence. Let them know, we buy properties sight unseen all the time. So when you're dealing with destroyed properties or properties that need some work, it might be a good idea. But when I'm calling, nice turnkey properties like this, they'll usually put it in the description like water damage or something, right? They'll let you know. Okay, so that one's good. We can scratch that one off the list. Okay, that was Turtle Mountain Avenue. What a fun name. We looked at Cactus Needle. I think we looked at, did we look at Longfellow? Was at 465, they owe 376. This is why these more expensive markets like Vegas, like Miami, Colorado are tough, because a lot of these people, right? Like let's look at Verde Rosa Drive. Owned it for 2 years and 11 months. They owe 468 and they're listed at 520. So this one's a little bit better. It's not as much equity, but when you're dealing with these high value markets like Las Vegas, Colorado, right? People's homes appraised with $100,000 to $200,000 in the span of a year to 2 years. So it's going to be hard to find low equity because homes appreciated like crazy. Yeah, Fred, good question. It definitely depends on your dispo. Fred says, are you leveraging the home inspector to walk the property? I guess that would depend on the dispo. So unless we are going to get a conventional loan on it and we need to get an inspection, it's pretty rare that we get inspections. I will definitely get my boots on the ground or someone on my team to go walk a property and take pictures, 100 pictures of everything under the sinks, the grout on the bathtub, water heaters, furnaces, all the big ticket items, roofs, soffits, gutters, everything. And then I'll have them take a walkthrough video where they're like slowly walking through, filming everything too. So that way, it feels like we're actually there. Joel says, if I bring a gator, for example, or someone who needs gator closer, or bring a unicorn agent, what is a good way to partner with you guys on that? Yeah, Joel, I would say, we don't really need gators. At this point, we have a good reserve to pay for all of the earnest money that we need. We're not really doing anything with transactional funding besides maybe like closing on wraps, but we have private money lenders and gator lenders already that will do that for us. The best way for you to partner with us, Joel, is like if you have a great subject to lead and you're not quite sure how to get it to the closing table, that's the best way to partner with us because we can help you get it closed. Okay, let's try to call this one. Let's see if this Johnson is pending or not. Cool. And we'll probably just go to 5 o'clock, guys. My voice is still recovering from being sick. And I'm gonna try to go to the Nuggets game tonight. Under contract. That was Verde Rosa. With Murrah 410. Okay, not too bad, 50K or so. Yeah, Joel, good question again, man. What are the other ways to bring agents value and keep relationships going for a while? Do you tell them up front we're looking to build long-term relationships? Always, man, always. I'm telling agents, love to do business with you. I'd love to be your go-to investor, right? Like if you plan to continue to be an agent, right, and you don't have any investors in your network, you're seriously missing out on a big part of the business. So for sure, always trying to keep that relationship pending, man. What is going on with Vegas? Maybe we should try somewhere else. Yeah, let's try Texas. I'm gonna give this Vegas a break. So let's try count Texas. I want to call like Houston and Austin areas. Yeah, man. We call a ton of agents that are just like that call we had where they said, cash or conventional financing, they will not do. Oh, shoot. I didn't see that. Renee, sorry about that. I didn't even see you.
It's okay. I was waiting my turn.
I love it.
Did you want to finish your thought or are you good?
Yeah, let me finish my thought because I'll forget. Yeah, we talk to a ton of agents that tell us like first thing, nope, they're not doing subject to before we can even get a word out. So it's just the name of the game, man. Like when cash wholesaling became huge, every new investors started to blow up agents and try to lowball them, and agents caught on to that. Now they're catching on to the subject to seller finance stuff, but it doesn't matter, man. Like, doesn't matter. There's people out there that need a low cash offer to close. There's people out there that need a subject to offer so they don't lose a ton of money. So it's just about numbers. You just have to keep calling. You'll get the right one. Okay, that's my thought, Renee. What do you got?
All right. So my question is, have you ever ran into any real estate companies in general that just don't work well with sub-2 deals in general? So like one example was I called a Redfin agent about a property they had listed.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like they do things a lot differently at Redfin. And so when I asked her, if she had any other properties that might, go for sub-2 type deals or, creative financing, it just really threw off the conversation. And it seemed like they just do things a lot differently there. So I was curious if there's any real estate companies in general that you would recommend, like if you see a listing under their company that you just skip them.
Yeah, I mean, so Redfin and like Zillow agents are going to generally be a lot less charismatic. You're right. They have a different operation than, let's say, like a huge firm like EXP. EXP agents are not all, but a lot of them are very great agents. But yeah, when you're dealing with like Redfin, Realtor.com agents, I don't even know if they have them, but I would say they're probably less experienced is a guess, and their model is a lot different. They tend to list massive amounts of homes for a lower percentage, but if you're listing your home with a Redfin agent, your customer service is not going to be great. You're going to have a hard time getting a hold of that agent. I'd say it still might be worth a call because every agent could be different. One thing that's not, I would say, is relocation companies. If you ever are dealing with a relocation company, I've never had any luck with subject to on relocation. It seems like in their business model, they can't take subject to offers. So,
Okay.
yeah, but I wouldn't say like skip them. Like your Keller Williams agents are going to be newer and not know a ton, but it still might work. So.
Yeah, and I actually, the lady I talked to from Redfin, she was super like intrigued as to, what I was talking to her about and wanted to learn more. So she seems like a really good person to network with and to just have in my back pocket in case I needed her for certain things and vice versa.
Yeah.
It was a really great rapport, but I just wasn't sure like in what capacity we could work together, going forward. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that the best line is save me in your phone as your low equity investor or your, tired landlord investor, or just your go-to investor. Like if you have agents, if you're calling newer agents too, as well, it's likely they don't dabble with investors, which is, again, just a big part of the business they're missing out on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Dylan.
Well, thanks, Renee. What up, Maj? What's up, bro? Good to see you in here, man. Everybody, this is Maj.
Hey.
He is
How's it going?
Good, bro. What's up?
Sorry, I'm driving, so I'm trying to like multitask right now. So, you guys do deals out in Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, yeah. We just closed one on Friday. Yeah, on Friday in Oklahoma.
Hey, congratulations!
Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is I have a lead from an agent, and the seller has a VA loan on the property they're looking to sell. They're currently on a contract or under contract with a conventional loan that they're looking to get. What do you call it? They're looking to utilize a conventional loan to acquire some land for the deal that they're currently under contract. They want to build their home out there. I was curious, they can still do a sub 2 to make sure that their DTI is not affected for this loan that's conventional, right? So the lender, I would assume, has to recognize that they're doing a sub 2 transaction and deem it the transaction still worthy enough to not affect their DTI. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's not necessarily the subject to that is clearing it from their debt to income. We've had so many conversations with lenders and explained to them what subject to is and how it works. But what they understand is when a seller turns it into a rental property, that is how you get it cleared off their debt to income. So you can even tell the lender this, but we are going to buy the property subject to, but in the meantime, we're just going to sign a lease agreement with that seller to show that we're renting the property. And the underwriter will take that lease as proof that they will not be making the payment. And that is what clears them off their debt to income.
Immediately, just from that month, because their thing is speed too.
I believe it's 75% gets cleared off their debt to income in the first 12 months.
Okay, for the first 12 months, but how long would I, like, let's say I tell that to, because the thing is they want to close on this property, their property they're under contract for, like as soon as possible. Would they be able to do that still with letting them know the solution?
Oh, you're cutting out, Maj. You maybe turn off your camera, bro. It usually helps if you're lagging.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, my fault. So would that solution still help them close fast on this deal they're currently under contract with?
For sure. I mean, all it takes is just, it's pretty quick. You just fill out a lease agreement with that seller. Is this in Colorado?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, right. Okay. Joseph Gonzalez, you probably know who he is, right, Maj?
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, no worries. He's the lender that we work with all the time. He's not a sub 2 student, but he really understands it. He's a veteran and he buys investment properties. So anytime we have a seller, like this just happened, I have a guy in Florida that wants to sell us his house, but he's not sure if he could qualify to buy a home in Georgia. So we got my lender Joseph involved, and he says all we have to do is fill out a lease agreement and show that to the lender, the underwriter, and they will basically, get you pre-approved. So you don't even have to sign my contract until we know he's pre-approved.
See, the seller was trying to do that already because he was going to Airbnb his property. Is the Airbnb not the same? It has to be long-term, right? Right.
Because unless they have a year of payments history of being profitable, but a a lease agreement, it's binding. It's not volatile, right? So who knows, like that tenant could pay the first month and just disappear, right? But for whatever reason, lenders do use that to qualify them.
Okay, got it. Well, I'll bring it up. I'm trying to get it done with done. I hope this one.
For sure, man. Yeah. Let me know if you need that guy's info. His name's Joseph Gonzalez. He can at least like talk to your seller. Are you direct to the seller or an agent?
So is he living out there in Oklahoma? Is that why you're saying that?
No, he's in Colorado, but he's pretty like connected as an investor. So he's got relationships with other lenders in Oklahoma. So
got it.
Yeah, he can at least.
I would love to. Yeah, I'll reach out to you. Offline, and then we'll chop it up more about the deal.
Okay.
Or
brother.
Either whatever.
Right
awesome,
on,
man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, bro.
All right.
Yeah, Joel. Yeah. For sure, man. I mean, it's great. Like if you guys read this, departing residents, rental income, more important than ever, right? So how long is this? Let's see. Rule of thumb is a good rule of thumb to remember that only 75% of gross rent can be used for qualifying purposes in most cases. Equity cushion, landlord history, proving the house is rented. So applicants have to prove their departing residence is actually rented by providing a fully executed lease, a copy of the first month's rent and or security deposit, and proof that the first check was actually deposited into the applicant's account. So literally this one that we just closed on Friday in Oklahoma City, the seller was also the agent, so he was pretty knowledgeable. It was a subject to, we wholesaled it, and he understood departing residents. He was talking to his lender beforehand. He was very concerned about leaving this loan in place, but also still qualifying for a new loan. So he had a conversation with his lender. His lender told him, you can absolutely do this, but the buyer, which was us, needs to sign a lease agreement, a 12-month lease agreement, which is exactly what we did. And then they showed that to the underwriter, and they eliminated it from his debt to income and got him pre-approved for his next loan. So that's within the first 12 months. If they don't plan to buy until after a year or later, you don't need to do any of that. You'll just be able to show the lender that a servicing company has been making the payments, and they call that 12 months paid by others, and you should be able to get 100% of your debt to income eliminated after 12 months. Let's see.
Hey, again, real quick, Dylan, my bad.
No worries.
So is that you write up the lease agreement as a separate agreement from the P&S, right? The purchase and sales agreement?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now there's could be a ton of moving parts, right? Like maybe they need to, like when you're giving them a down payment, maybe they need a down payment like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to put down on their next loan. That could be sort of a lease option fee as well. But again, you want to pay that through an escrow company. So on one, what was that?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when we closed on in Arizona, I think it was an FHA to a conventional loan. She needed $30K. So we signed a lease agreement, basically a lease option. We signed a lease option agreement. We put $30,000 into the escrow company, and the escrow company then paid her. And the lender said, well, because it hasn't been seasoned for 3 months, they weren't sure if it qualifies, but because it came from an escrow company, it qualified her. She didn't have to season that money as well. So that's another option. And then once she was closed on her new home, we executed our option on subject to, and then took over the loan. So there's tons of ways you can do it, but it depends on what's the situation. So.
Okay, great. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question too. Yeah, I think that gets really, really confusing. That's like when you start really getting into the weeds and the mechanisms of subject to. Renee says it really depends on the lender as to whether or not they will take that debt off the application. Yeah, some lenders might not really understand it. So having the right lender is going to be important.
There's some lazy lenders out there too.
There are.
That's what I'm realizing. Like if they don't understand it, they just want to choose safety and security because that's what they're used to. And you really get to tell a lot about a person if they're, open-minded to something. And that's something that I bring up as well, as the fact that if they're open-minded or not.
Yeah, no, that's good too. Yeah, like trying to build some rapport, saying I love how, or appreciate it for being open-minded about this. Renee says I do CRE. Oh, okay, nice.
Yep.
I already know that. Awesome. Yeah, does anyone have any more questions? If not, I think we'll probably just call it. Was it you, Donna? Did you have your hand raised?
I did, but that's okay. I was just gonna say, if I was an agent, well, I am getting the calls. I am more receptive, but for the ones that aren't receptive, the best thing, like you said, is just to say you just want to be a resource. Would it be okay if I, keep in touch with you? And if they say no to that, then you don't want to deal with them anyway.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Great point. Yeah. Maybe just say, hey, do you mind if I text you my contact info or send you my website, whatever. Try to end it on a friendly note. Yeah.
Because you never know. I mean, I have a spreadsheet and I just have their name, their contact, and what it is they're looking for. Because you never know when you're gonna get what they're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you been getting any calls on listings about sub-2 seller finance?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. What do you tell them? You're like, I already know.
No, I just say, in this particular case, the seller's not interested, but things could change, most of mine are selling pretty quickly. But in the cases where they're not, I mean, this today, the answer could be no, but anything can happen tomorrow, which completely could change things.
Right. Keep circling back. Yeah. I feel like we've finally got a really good system down to where, we have like an actually good, really good CRM. So it feels good. Like when a call I made a month ago pops back into my daily follow-ups and I'm like texting or calling an agent like, hey, do you remember me? I called a month ago. I called 2 months ago, So I think that is important as well. If you guys are doing a lot of agent or seller outreach and you get told, hey, follow up in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, having a good CRM that actually reminds you to do that. I think it will probably impress some agents, or at least make them think, okay, this person is running an actual business too. So just another
Well,
tip.
somebody asked what's going to make you stand out. That makes you stand out. I mean, it's just like in any regular business, it's you being there at the right time.
Mhm.
And if you're following up on a regular basis, chances are you're going to be that person.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. I mean, we've definitely gotten a ton, maybe not a ton, but a handful of deals where the agent had heard subject to a million times, and either because it was right timing, like you said, Donna, it was just the right time, or we explained it better, or because we continued to follow up, we were that person that they thought was the most credible. So there's multiple reasons, but yeah, definitely following up is probably one of the best things you can do. Love it. Awesome.
Dylan, can I ask what CRM you're using?
Yeah, we use REI Reply.
Okay, that's the one that I've been looking at too. It looks pretty nice, so
Yeah,
it might be
yeah.
a good idea.
I think it's pretty like user friendly. It can be, you can integrate a ton, like you can make it really complicated, but just to start out, I think it's pretty user friendly.
Yeah, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, I really like it. Do you offer HELOC on rental property at first lien position? What do you mean by that, Adarsh? I don't understand.
That might be for me. Yes, we do.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
For commercial
I was
real
gonna say,
estate.
yeah.
We actually, I work Canvas Credit Union and we do HELOCs on rental properties. So I think that's kind of unique.
Oh yeah. Even on like commercial, is that what you said as well?
So if it's, I mean, we can, it wouldn't be called a HELOC on a commercial building. It would be essentially a line of credit using commercial real estate as the collateral. But yes, a HELOC would be essentially like a family residence, anything up to 4 years, we can do a HELOC on.
Gotcha. Okay. And then yeah, just a line of credit.
So I'll put. Yeah.
Yeah, it's REI Reply. Another okay CRM is Podio. It's free. It's not the best though, but it is free. REI Reply I think is like $50 a month. Cool. All right, guys. Well, my voice is starting to go. Right on. There you go, Adarsh. Yeah, make sure you grab Renee's number. What kind of leads do you recommend someone who hasn't gotten their first deal yet, looking into, for example, expired listings, low equity? Zoom user. I don't know your name. Your name's Zoom user, but for us, our bread and butter, what we've had a ton of success in, Jay. Yeah, we've had success in on market low equity, because they convert beautifully to subject to. Foreclosures are also low lying fruit, right? That is also an option too, going after foreclosures. But I would say, yeah, expired or even on market low equity. You know, you just got to really understand the mechanisms of it, because nowadays everybody's going after low equity. So you just have to hone those skills and watch a lot of YouTube videos and really understand it. So, and I want to shout out our Friday Zoom. What I'm going to do on Friday is I'm probably going to do this again. I'm going to spend a little bit more time preparing though. I want to call an agent, have them be open to an offer, write up an offer and send it. So that way you guys can see, okay, like how to find it, call it, underwrite it, and send the offer in one Zoom. That's what I'm going to try to do this Friday. So if you guys can make it, Sessing likes that one. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that on Friday. That's at noon Mountain Time. If you guys can make that, I think that's 2 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Pacific. Going to try to knock all that out in one deal. Is tax deed property good for deals? It could be, Doug. It's not our niche, but that is a lot of people's niche for sure. I think you just kind of have to pick one and stick to it. So right on. I appreciate you, Dylan. Nice name, man. Cool. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Make sure you guys join our Facebook group where we post the links to these before we go live. And we will see you guys Friday at noon. Peace. See you guys.
Thanks. Thank you.